Seasickness. I'm going to be addressing seasickness. My friend Ray recently posted on Facebook that tomorrow he's going to be going tuna fishing. The ocean is my worst enemy. The last time I went deep sea fishing, I got so seasick. The time before that, I got so seasick. The last time I went on a whale watch, I got so seasick. These are bigger ships. Seems to me that smaller boats, I've been on motorboats just fine while I'm kind of skimming along in motion. On ponds, I'm fine. On a kayak, I have never had any issues. But as far back as I can remember being in middle school, going on a whale watch field trip, and I got so sick. Going out to sea, I always seem to be fine when the boat is actually in motion, but once we get out there and the engine cuts and we're just kind of sitting there swaying, watching whales, fishing, it just hits me out of nowhere. I just get so seasick. I have been on cruises down in the Caribbean. This big giant Royal Caribbean cruise. I seem to be mostly fine under those circumstances. I did go on other cruises to Bermuda on smaller ships, and again, it just hit me. I got so seasick, took Dramamine, it took forever to kick in. Basically probably missed dinner one night because it was so bad. But yeah, seasickness is like my worst nightmare. So I'm going to talk about that because I started doing some research and I haven't really been able to put it to the test. But the next time I have an opportunity to go on a ship, I'm just kind of curious to see if what I've been doing might help. So through some research, I basically found out that they've done some studies where, interestingly enough, they find that when people are on a boat, on a ship, and they're standing, and they inherently have their body attached to the ship, whether they're standing or sitting, that people are at risk of getting seasick. Yet those same people, if they are, in water, submerged in water, say they're just out in the ocean swimming and they're floating up and down the waves just as if they were on a boat, that now that their torso or their body is not attached to the ground in any sort of manner, they then are not getting seasick. People aren't in the ocean floating up and down waves and also getting seasick. So what it seems that the belief might be heading towards is that seasickness might be a product of your core. Your core is not being activated if your feet are not attached to anything. You're just kind of free floating, but the moment you're grounded, your core all of a sudden starts to come into play. So there seems to be some talk about potentially seasickness being a matter of having a very weak or inexperienced core when it comes to the ocean. There had been some talk of basically seasickness being a product of balance issues. So I would actually be kind of curious if people with experience in things such as skiing, snowboarding, skateboarding, surfing, balance-based sports, I wonder what the incidence the rate of seasicknesses among those sorts of athletes. So I'd actually be kind of curious to see what people's experiences would be in that regard. I'd be really curious if I could find some athletes in that field to kind of speak up and talk about this. So regardless, I really like finding natural cures slash solutions for issues. So one thing I heard people are doing, and what I ended up trying myself, is I got basically what's called like a balance board. So I'm going to show everyone what that is. Here it is right here. This is a balance board. So I got this online, and essentially it's a board. It's got a little balance ball right here. And it just goes on. And I can tell you, when I first started doing this, I was absolutely horrible. But with practice, you know, I'm pretty comfortable. So, you know, it's been a little while since I've used it again, but, you know, this basically works your core pretty good, works your legs pretty good, and, you know, before you know it, you're going to be able to just stand here. And I'm sure there's like different difficulties. So now, you know, basically to make it harder, you know, before I used to be like, oh, whoa, but now I just kind of try to reach up, and it just makes it a little more hard, but it's really pretty interesting. So I highly encourage people to do this, and I'm sure something like this would really improve people's ability to basically do things like use like those wheeled hoverboards. I'm sure it would help with skateboarding, surfing. So even if it doesn't help cure, or if it doesn't have any effect on seasickness at all, I'm kind of curious, because I have had that for about 2 to 3 months now. I just have not been out on a boat at all recently. My last opportunity to go deep sea fishing, I was just like, no, I'm good. The last 2 times were awful. I'd love to be able to have a good experience with that. But yeah, so basically I'm just kind of curious, you know, how that helps. But, you know, even if it does not help, you know, it definitely can help in other aspects of your life. Again, if you want to get into skateboarding, I'm sure surfing. I have never gone surfing before. I used to ski quite a bit, and you know, that sort of stuff. So yeah, the balance board, if you've never heard of something like that before, I definitely encourage you to check it out. It's not going to do anything bad. It can only help in a lot of, you know, aspects of balance, and, you know, just kind of like, you know, just makes you a more stable person. So, you know, for me, just all around, you know, could definitely help up climbing in a tree and working with your balance. And yeah, I highly recommend it. It's just one of those natural things to just kind of help improve your life, and, you know, it works your core. You don't even feel it, but, you know, before, you know, when I first got it, like, my whole body was just very shaky, and now it's just, I'm just more at ease. And, you know, I feel like if I did hop on a skateboard, I just feel like I'd be just more relaxed and comfortable. And hopefully the next time I ever end up on a boat, hopefully this might have had some sort of effect, and now I won't be getting seasick. Hopefully. Let's cross our fingers. Maybe one day I can do a follow-up video and let everyone know if it worked or not. Because I can tell you right now, as it stands, as far as I know, based on my last 2-3 times on a boat, that boat engine cuts are sitting there free floating in the middle of the ocean, and within minutes I'm just like being triggered. I cannot get out of the bathroom, or I'm just like hurling overboard. It's not good. My worst enemy, the sea. But again, for some reason, I can do kayaking on rivers, ponds, even in the ocean in the past. I've been on a motorboat. If the boat's in motion, I seem to be fine. But the moment that engine cuts and we're just free floating, I don't know if that's other people's experience, but that's, that just does not do well for me. So that's it. And yeah, just highly encourage getting a balance board.